Hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty, and this is the ultimate build wheel for 3.20. Ultimate, as in this is the a different version. We're doing it, taking it more seriously this time around. Instead of having one build for each ascendancy, we picked what would be the best starter build and then subsequent finisher build for each class. So we're going to go over this list. This is post patch notes. So we've dubbed all these things special because they, well, some things were fucked and some things were double fucked. Examples include accuracy stacking and omni perseverance. I just have strike question mark because I imagine they're playing some attack or strike build. That's really up to interpretation. What I mean by that is if we take a quick look here, previously accuracy stacking was played by 84% lightning strike, 10% Helix, that's 94% of the people playing Last Resort versions, were playing one of those two things, and both of which were utterly obliterated this patch. So, because of that, we're making amendments for those things. That being said, everything is set. And things that were too gutted, like leveling with Spectral Throw, we just replaced with Poison Concoction, etc. And things like Ward Loop losing Survival Secrets, well, it actually still works. We did the math, it still works fine. It just requires a little bit different setup. So I'm going to quickly go over all the builds, and then I'll go over the process, and then at the end you'll see what I got for my build wheel, and in a different video I'll go over what that build is, how I'm going to progress through it. So you have your classes: Templar, Shadow, Marauder, Scion, Ranger, Duelist, and Witch. And this is a notes section, so these builds require essentially nothing and can be started and progressed in SSF. The idea is to farm out gear from a stage 1 build, this is being the gear, to get to the stage 2 builds. You can mix and match if you want to re-roll, but I just suggest coming through. So the examples of stage 1 builds are Spark Inquisitor, Poison, Seismic Trap. You can play just crit if you want, but I recommend Poison. Shield Crush, General's Cry, Berserker. You could play technically anything with General's Cry, but I suggest Shield Crush because it does not require getting a Red Blade banner. Mana Stacking, Eye of Winter, Mine Ascendant. You can play any Mana Stacking Mine build. Eye of Winter is one of the best ones. Poison Concoction for Pathfinder. Slayer, Shockwave, Cyclone. Other options are Bone Shatter for this. And Explosive Arrow Elementalist. If you want to play any other Ignite build, you can. Explosive Arrow simply scales the best as the starter build because of its lack of gear requirements, and since the only thing that makes it really feel comfy is Rain of Splinters is now a corrupted only jewel, it's actually easier to acquire deterministically. The fun word. That being said, each of these things transition into a different build, which is for Templar, Cold Reap Inquisitor. Shadow is Cold Spectral Shield Throw. Trickster. Marauder is Accuracy Stacking Juggernaut. You can play any variation of it, whether it is a Claw variation with Replica Last Resort or potentially a Bow version. The options are usually Accuracy Stacking Framework, and all the essential gear basically the same. Ward Loop Ascendant does not have a lot of wiggle room. Matter of fact, it is the opposite of wiggle room. Requires extremely specific items, and you're going to basically live your life in Expedition to get the gear required for it. It's a combination of tons of specific Expedition gear and tons of specific alt quality gems. So living life in Heist and Expedition, if that sounds like something you'd like to do, Ward Loop might be up your alley. Ranger goes from the Pathfinder, which is easy, the concoction one, into Omni Tornado Shot. Now, I would recommend a Fizz Bow. You can make a Fizz Bow, or you can do an Ellie Bow. If you want to do Expedition, you can just make a Rog Bow, like some sort of big Ellie Bow. But either way, you're going to have to farm out your Exarch for your Omni. Duelist ended up being, Omni Perseverance Champion. Again, plug-and-play skill, kind of similar to, the Deadeye, kind of similar to the Juggernaut. You could just do any attack skill. The framework is the essential part. It'll still work just fine. And finally, we have Witch, the Explosive Arrow, transitioning into Forbidden Rite COC. It's probably the build that wants something like Mage Blood the most, although you can make it work prior to Mage Blood. It ends up being quite tanky. It's a melding Aegis Aurora build, but once the initial framework of the build is complete, you have a pretty easy time. You might have to start with a life variation and then transition to CI, but once you pretty much have certain recoup things and your crit weapon going, it's all about getting the mana cost of Forbidden Rite down and mitigating that chaos damage through things like Chaos Inoculation, which just basically prevents it. And again, all the things required from stage 1 to stage 2 are listed in this middle section, and then the end game items for the the final items, you can just follow the arrows as a flowchart, are on the right. And this is these are big boy builds, so it'll even just say things like get Mage Blood, or get specific level 4 Enlightened Enhances, massive Thread of Hopes, multiple specific Timeless Jewels, specific Skin of the Lord color combinations, Awakened Gems, yada yada yada. If you want to have representations of any of these, again, for things like Ward Loop, you just click them, they're all hyperlinks. And just to prove a point here, their Survival Secrets, which is removed from the game, and its effect has been removed. You can't get both those things in the same way elsewhere, but you can run the build without it. Just, again, proof of concept. There are a couple people playing variations of this build without it. You just have to do different math, and you have to have the numbers a little bit tweaked. It's a numbers build. That does require you having slightly different numbers on things. That might require you maybe having a little bit more damage taken from your Ward Loop and triggering in a certain fashion, or running possibly 2 flasks. But yeah, it is possible to make it work. And I did add a second section on the bottom for the MF setups, because for those in Solo Supplement, you could play this in trade. And if you want to just play a stage 1, you don't have to touch stage 2. If you just don't play a lot of path, it's fine. But these stage 2 builds are not to be taken super lightly. I wouldn't transition until you have at least the required gear, and we'll say level 95. If you've never hit level 95 before, probably none of this is for you, because this is the ultimate build wheel, and you have to play an ultimately large amount of time to be able to pull this off. So the basic MF setup is going to help you a lot for getting certain things. Crystallized Emissions requires farming from one specific spot, but there are a lot of things you'd want to get that are just more generic uniques. Getting Black Sun's Crest, things like getting Perseverance, things like that sort of stuff, right? So you can do a basic MF setup as you kind of get it as you go. Just, start stockpiling your item rarity, item quantity gear. Once you hit a certain amount of it, you could pretty much start doing tier 1 MFing, and you'd be surprised how little of a setup is required to start seeing noticeable results. Now, this is also on the back of the fact that we now have access to 3-to-1 our Scarabs, upgrading them 3 up, so 3 rusted, 1 polished, 3 polished, 1 gilded. That means getting gilded Scarabs is easier than ever. And through Harvest, you could swap those Scarabs into Reliquary Scarabs, and that's pretty good. Not to mention, we also have Anarchy on the wheel, which means you can guarantee, on the Keurig Atlas mission device thingy. So you can guarantee for 3 Chaos, I believe it is, 3 Exiles, or maybe 2 Chaos for 3 Exiles. We can guarantee Exiles, which means you're going to guarantee Ghosted Exiles, which is really fucking good. And Strand is still in the Atlas. I'm not sure if it's a tier 1, but whatever tier 1 you pick, there's a tree setup for it. Here's an example of a tree setup for MFing. Hi-yo, so there we go. So pretty much it's a stream of consciousness, singular focus type setup. The tree is about to change quite drastically. That being said, this is the basic framework for what you're kind of doing. And even this is actually farming out nice gear like essences and heists for you to get some goodies along the way. So that is the gist of the build wheel. Now I'm going to show you what I rolled on my wheel. If you have any questions about any of these builds, ask them in the comments below. As more information is rolled out and things are tweaked, things are slightly subject to change, but the builds themselves won't change. So yeah, ask the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this wheel section, and you could spin for yourself in the description below, and I'll catch you later. Good luck in League. Lighty out. So people who are new to this function, this is how we did it last time. This is the fun way to do it, I think, and it's going to break down as of such. We have the ultimate build wheel made for this league. It's broken down into stage 1, 2, and then basically 3 sectors. Perfect starters, full content endgame. When I say full content endgame, I don't mean build of the week. I don't mean, baby's first build. I mean, these builds can do every Uber boss, delve to 1,000 potentially, actual full content. The idea is to play one stage 1 build, transition into a stage 2 build, and that's all you're playing the rest of the league. You're playing 8 hours a day. You're forgetting about your wife, your kids. You're quitting your job. Welcome to Path of Exile. We're going to spin the wheel. Ward Loop was in Build of the Week. It's true. But it didn't fit my speech I was giving, so fuck that guy. Alright, so we're going to spin the wheel. And then it's going to hit something. And then we're going to flip a coin. If it's a heads, we keep it and we keep spinning. If it's a tails, we remove it. And through this process, we're going to end up with 1 build. So we're going to spin. It's going to hit something. We're going to flip a coin. Heads, we keep it. Tails, we remove it. If I had to pick something I'd like to play, I'd like to play Cold Reap. I'd like to do Ward Loop. I'd like to do Forbidden Rite COC. Any of those three I'm pretty happy with. Cold Reap, Forbidden Rite COC, or Ward Loop. All of them take a month of farming to get all the gear for, so it should be fun. That's a month of 10 hours a day of Path of Exile. Need specific Awakened gems, what have you. So here we go. We're spinning. Heads we keep it, tails we toss it. Duelist. Oh, praise be, remove this right out the fucking gate. Okay. Heads we keep it, tails we toss it. Come on. Yes! Get out of there. We spent so fucking long figuring out duelist builds. Out of my life. Instantly. Gone. Alright, good. Okay, next. Good, good, good. Heads we keep it, tails we toss it. Ranger. I don't mind tossing that one either. Come on, show me a tails. Show me a tails. Show Papa a tails. Fuck. Alright, so we keep it. We keep spinning. It survives this day. Was not out of here. What's coming on next? Alright, Templar, Witch. These are both ones I want to keep. I definitely want to keep Templar. I'd love to play Cold Reap. Come on, give me a heads. Okay, yeah. We're going. Scion would be an interesting one. That's a rough league start. I mean, it's fine. Shadow? Shadow, I'm kind of indifferent. Poison Seismic, very easy to play. Cold Spectral Shield Throw, I'd have to farm out alt quality, Ashes, Awakens, all the stuff. So, heads we keep it, tails we toss it. Oh, still in. Okay, Shadow's hanging on for dear thread. Don't forget, last time, our General's Cry build survived 7 heads, tails. Ranger, back in the chopping block. Okay, heads, it's keeping it. Tails, it's gone. There we go. Ranger's gone. Okay, so no Poison Concoction, no Omni TS. Goodbye. See you later. The 3 I wanted are still on the wheel. We're getting there. Hopefully we can knock off some shitters like the Shadow and the Marauder. Templar Spark. Okay. Spark into Reap. Give me a heads. Oh, that hurts. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's gone. No Spark, no Reap. On to the next one. Down to the final 4. Down to the final 4. That is Shadow. Okay. Seismic into SST. Come on. Come on, baby. Tails, you're out of there. Oh, fuck. All right. Last 4. So I'm either playing endgame accuracy stacking, starting as General's Cry, Shield Charge, which is way easier to start than General's Cry. Should I start with? Which is playing Forbidden Rite COC or Ward Loop. Let's find out. Marauder on the chopping block. Heads it stays, tails it's gone. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's staying. Alright. Last 3. Final 3. Ward Loop, here we go. Are we Ward Looping or are we not Ward Looping? Which one is it going to be? Heads or tails? And... oh, Ward Loop is surviving. It's surviving a little bit. We're getting there. It's getting tense. Final 3, man. Final 3. Oh, shit. Ward Loop is back in the chopping block. Back in the chopping block. Let's go. Can we get other heads? Can we get a back-to-back heads? Nope. There it is. Wheel spoken. Ward Loop is gone. Okay. Down to the final 2. Accuracy stacking or Forbidden Rite COC. See what we get. Okay, Burden's on the Marauder at the start. Flipping the coin. Keeper gone. Nope, that's out of there. There we go. So that's it. We got it. Gonna have to play COC Forbidden Rite. That's gonna be a lot of crafting there.